Welcome to the Vault Report. I'm here once again with Providence assistant Nate Tomlinson. Providence coming off a win against St. John's at home, currently 16-9, 7-7 in Big East play. Are we having fun yet, Coach?
Every day's a gift, and in this conference, they're all tough. They're all tough games. They're all tough wins. You got to enjoy every one of them. But no, it's an unbelievable league, and every day is fun. Absolutely.
And I want to begin obviously looking at that game, on Tuesday. Take me into the locker room. Obviously, you guys ended that half, a little bit sloppy, not the way you would like. Just what was the message? What impressed you most? Just how you guys came out, in that second half and to finish that game.
Yeah, well, we thought, it was a funky first half. We obviously ticket, going down in the first play of the game. Not we weren't really expecting him to come back, to be honest. When you looked at him, he was pretty banged up, and then we're trying to scramble for rotations and think, who we're going to play, do that sort of thing, and then he comes back. We take off. I think we take a 13, 15 point lead or something like that pretty quickly. Um, and then he comes back. Then Josh gets his second foul, and it was just a funky first half. We were playing well, and then just simple game plan, discipline things that we were really not good at. To win that second half, bad shots on the offensive end, and then letting St. John's play the game that they want to play, in transition and letting them, letting them get to the paint in transition and just poor defensive errors from us really let them back in the game. And being down five, it was kind of like, wow, we didn't expect, the way we started, it kind of turned pretty quickly, but through a lot of faults of our own. So we knew we could fix it. But obviously they're a tough team and we had to go out and do it, and pretty pleased with how we answered the second half.
Definitely. And, defensively, obviously, it's been your calling card for you guys all year, one of the best in the nation. Specifically in the second half, I don't know if they hit a three or not, but you guys were defending at a high clip, defending the 3-point line. I know there was a little bit, nothing's perfect, struggles on the glass a little bit, but just how this team, this group can just kind of barrel down when things aren't going there going that well, the sudden swings, just to have that calling card defensively, especially these last two games. What have you seen? What do you continue to be impressed with these guys having to step up?
Yeah, it's always something you can control, how well you communicate, how hard you play on the defensive end. And our guys have committed to that end of the floor, like you said, for pretty much the whole year. Watching the game back, I didn't realize. Then we finished the game with nine straight stops, which was didn't feel like it at the time because they kept getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound, which it doesn't matter how good your defense is, teams are eventually going to score if you keep giving them second and third opportunities. So that was disappointing, especially knowing St. John's are a top five offensive rebounding team in the country. So that was a key to the game for us that we didn't succeed at. But defensively, like I said, we've got really good individual defenders, and they commit to that end of the floor. So that's usually a pretty good recipe. We just got to finish it with a rebound that we've been doing a better job at that lately, Nate. But on Tuesday night it was pretty bad.
And Oduro's impact. We've talked about it earlier in the year. I remember talking about it with Kim even a couple of years ago. At George Mason. Obviously, people are going to look at the points and what he's been able to put up the last two games that he's played, but just the ability to run the offense through him, his vision, his feel for the game, just his delivery, even just passes, where they should be. Just talk about that impact of his game again.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal. He's he's such a safety blanket for us as coaches, on the offensive end. If you get him the ball, usually something good is going to happen. And if it doesn't, you kind of, you're surprised a lot of the time. But we go into most games, we kind of have a plan of how they're going to guard Josh. Teams will mix it up, but if they double him, he makes the play a lot of the time, and it creates offense for us. If they don't double him, he's one of the best low post scoring bigs in the country, and he'll score a lot of the time as well. So um, to have him, in the paint, and then Devin on the perimeter, now demanding more double teams, it's really opening things up for us on the offensive end, which is everyone else is reaping the benefits for that.
Definitely. You know, it's tough to close out games, in any conference, Big East especially. Looking at, the last 2 minutes execution, I mean, it feels like every game is going to come down to those last 2 minutes. Just how do you feel at this point in the season, that part of the game, as you guys, again, continue to grow the dog days of February, but that last 2 minutes, the execution part, what have you seen, especially in the last couple games that you like,
Yeah.
and maybe, things you can improve on?
Yeah, not much that I've liked, to be honest, on the offensive end. But we're playing a lot of young guys. Jaden Pierre's a sophomore point guard, Galway DeWall, freshman point guard, Rich Barron playing a lot of minutes. So there's things we need to definitely get better at. Watching the Butler game back, and that film session was brutal. Just whatever the calls that didn't came, whatever, in those last 3 minutes. The game shouldn't have been that close. We on both ends of the floor. We made some critical mistakes that that game should never have been in the referee's hands at all. So we need to get better at that. We're committing to it. The guys understand it, but a lot of that stuff comes with experience. And hopefully we've gone through the bad experiences, and then now we can start to close out games, because it seems like every game we're in is coming down to the last couple of minutes.
Absolutely. And I feel like you could break the season up, into two, really. Kind of you look at the plan, which was obviously having Hopkins, first team All Big East, player. We know the impact he was, and then you obviously, you have the injury. We talked about, I think a couple weeks back, just still that adjustment period. Where you guys are now, how do you feel like guys are settling into those roles, and what you guys are asking as a coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean the whole seasons, it's we've had curveballs thrown at us. No different to any other team. There's 4 or 5 guys that probably could have been in the rotation that are no longer on this team. So that's for a new group, new coach, new players, new system. It's been a lot for the guys, but they've been great. Like I said, if you commit to that defensive end of the floor, you're going to be in a lot of games, and they've done that. Post Bryce, I think, it took us a while. We lost, 4 in a row there, which was tough, but Devin and Josh and Ticket, the older guys have really risen and taken the leadership on head first, and we're scrambling, man. Everyone's playing hard. We're scrappy. We know that we need to get a lot done in these next, 7, now 6 games. And the guys have just committed to that, to each other. And we've always talked about, no matter who's not in this locker room anymore, it's about what we got in here, and we know everyone feels that we have more than enough to win every single game we play in.
And DePaul coming up, you guys beat them handily on the road. They've obviously struggled this season, but it's a Big East team and it's a Big East game. Nothing comes easy. What do you guys need to do leading up to this one to be successful, on Saturday?
Nothing will change at all. We will prepare, we'll watch, we'll do everything we normally do. DePaul is 100% going to get our best shot. Like you said, it's a Big East game, and they're all hard to win, and we'll prepare exactly the same, like we're playing anyone else. So it's we need to win this game. We're going to be just as desperate as what we were on Tuesday night.
And I'll let you go. Thank you. How did the snowstorm, in Rhode Island, especially more southern Rhode Island than northern Rhode Island, but a lot of build up to these storms often don't live up to it. But what was your analysis from 48 hours to when it actually occurred? Was it what you
Yeah, well,
expected?
it was I didn't like the talk of the game getting pushed back. That didn't too well with me. But no, I'd spent some time up in the Northeast, at prep school, and then obviously living in Colorado for 7 or 8 years. I've seen my fair few snowstorms, but no, it's beautiful, man. Look, the sun's shining. Got a little bit of white on the ground, but no, it's beautiful weather up here in Providence, Rhode Island.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think 6 inches of snow in Rhode Island, it's equivalent to maybe 2 feet in Colorado or other places, but it's all right. It's all good. But thank you, Nate. As always, appreciate it. Good luck this weekend, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks a lot, man. Go Friars.